Welcome to Solo UP Northwoods. Today I'm taking you deep into Michigan's past at the abandoned Freda stamp mill, and then down to a remote stretch of Lake Superior shoreline with no cell service, no crowds, and no distractions. Just peace, ruins, and waves. The Champion Mill, commonly called the Freda Stamp Mill in Freda, is in Stanton Township, which has the largest population of Finnish people in the United States. The mill sits on approximately 46 acres and was used to crush copper-bearing rock from nearby Champion Mine using stamp mill technology, which is heavy stamps dropped to pulverize ore. Rock came to the stamp mill from Painesdale, 55 rock cars a day, with 40% pure copper. In 1945, it was the most up-to-date mill in the world. The crushed material was mixed with water and iron balls to create a copper-rich slurry. That slurry was sent via rail to Michigan Smelter near Houghton for refining. The mill operated 6 stamps, which could process up to 3,500 tons of ore per day. The Freda Stamp Mill smokestack, the lone tower still standing amid the ruins, is remarkably tall. In 1916, during a boiler house expansion, a 235-foot concrete smokestack with a 100-inch diameter at the top was constructed. The mill was originally steam-powered and later switched to electric. The complex included a pump house, a 1,000-foot intake tunnel from Lake Superior, cold handling facilities, machine, carpenter, blacksmith shops, warehouse, office, laboratory, fire system, and private phone line. Around 20 worker homes were built nearby. Rails and trestles were used to operate the mill. Ore hoppers were rolled across these trestles to the top of the mill where gravel chutes delivered rock into the stamps for crushing. Water for the boilers and stamp mill were sourced through a 1,000-foot tunnel bored beneath Lake Superior, flowing from intake cribs under the lake. The pump house featured a 20 million-gallon triple expansion pump to supply this water, costing less than 1.5 cents per ton of ore stamped. After crushing, the remaining tailings, known as stamp sands, were washed with water into Lake Superior. This happened via sluice or wooden ladders that ran along these trestles straight to the shoreline. At Freda, millions of tons of stamp sand were dumped directly into Lake Superior along the shoreline. The result is the black tinted beach visible today, made up of these coarse copper mining residues. Stamp sands can contain heavy metal levels like arsenic and lead, which are present in small amounts but generally below EPA risk thresholds for occasional human contact like walking or swimming. Freda stamp sands are spread across the lakeshore and most are considered low risk for humans today. The waters around Freda are generally safe for recreation, though fishing and sediment disturbance are still monitored. The mill ceased operation in 1967, and in 1971 the railroad tracks were removed and the mill was abandoned. Reasons the mill closed were due to declining copper prices, which resulted in the closing of Keweenaw copper mines, ore depletion, the Champion Mine had exhausted its rich veins and closed, aging infrastructure, emerging environmental concerns, and shift in mining operations. After the mill closed, most structures were salvaged and the town dwindled. Today, remnants include concrete foundations and a tall smokestack standing on a cliff overlooking Lake Superior. The Freda Stamp Mill stands in eerie silence. Towering ruins, rusted metal, and scattered stone whisper of a time long past. The winds move through empty walls, carrying the ghost of industry. There's a strange beauty here, lonely, haunting, and forgotten by most, but not by the land. There's only one way down to the abandoned stamp mill, and that's climbing down a very steep and treacherous path. Agate Beach is a very isolated beach along the shores of Lake Superior. Long a gathering area, evidence shows indigenous people, Anishinaabe Ojibwe, used the landscape for thousands of years, including copper use thousands of years before European contact. In the late 1800s, Finnish immigrants settled nearby in Toivola, built a community and summer beach traditions at Agate Beach, still celebrated today with midsummer bonfires and annual acoustic jamborees. When I go to the lake, I like to gather up some stones and put them in a bag, take them home, rinse them off with water, lay them out, and pick out all the beautiful gemstones that I want to use for arts and crafts. Then I take all the rocks that I'm not going to use and I put them back in the bag and take them back to the lake next time I go. Here's a closer look at some beautiful rocks that can be found along the Lake Superior shoreline. This is red jasper, which was a mix of quartz, chalcedony, and iron oxide. This is green epidote, which is a metamorphic volcanic rock. This is unakite, which is made of epidote, feldspar, and quartz. Basalt is an ancient rock formed by volcanic lava. Granite is a very common rock around Lake Superior, and it includes quartz, feldspar, and mica. These are fluorescent satellite rocks, often called euprolites. They glow in the dark under UV light because they only partially absorb all the light rays, so the light rays that are not absorbed shine under UV light. These are quartz made of silicon dioxide. This is chert, which is a sedimentary rock made of microcrystalline quartz and comes in different colors such as gray, tan, brown, black, and red. This is thompsonite, a rare and beautiful zeolite mineral. It's usually white, pink, yellow, or pale green and has radiating sprays or spherical aggregates of needle-like crystals. These are Lake Superior agates, a prized, beautiful banded gemstone only found along the shores of Lake Superior. It is made of banded chalcedony and quartz. Thanks for coming along to the quiet, haunting ruins of Freda Stamp Mill and the wind-swept shores of Agate Beach. These remote places hold so much history and beauty. See you next time on Solo UP Northwoods.